Hi everybody, I'm Mellow, and this is a new series I'm making. It's called Riding with Mellow. I'm a truck driver and I've been living in Japan for 4 years. So starting today I'm gonna make these videos showing about life in Japan, driving in Japan, the culture, how the roads are. Most things are here. So if you guys have any comments or suggestions, I'm very busy, but leave some comments. I'll try to answer them, try to make some new videos. So today is the first video, and it's gonna do a little short trip from Kobe to Osaka. So let's put our seat belts and let's ride. Alright guys, so I've been living in Japan for 4 years, but I consider myself an American trucker. Even I was born in South America, but I live in America for almost 14 years. And 8 of those years I was a trucker. I used to drive tractor trailers, and now I'm driving a truck similar to that one, parked over there, very similar to that one. It's a 20-ton truck, but it's the standard in Japan. In Japan, we don't use as many tractor trailers like people in Europe, in America, because the roads are narrow and some highways are also narrow. So most of the trucks are straight trucks. They're a little smaller, and they are about maybe 30 feet long. Truck size is about 12 meters, so maybe 36 feet, 38 feet, something like that. So I just left our parking lot. This is Nishinomiya Hama. It's very close to Kobe. It's the Kobe area. Kobe, if you never heard, it's very famous for the beef, Kobe beef, one of the most expensive and best and the finest beef you can find. Maybe half kilo or maybe a pound of Kobe beef, $300 or $400, very expensive. So the roads in Japan, like 35% of the world, we drive on the left. For me it was very different, very not difficult, but it was really weird when I arrived in Japan, because I drove so long in America and other countries. But it's actually pretty good. Right now we're getting to that next road over there. You can see the sign. We're getting into Route 5. It's called the Hanshin Kosokodoro. Gosen Hanshin Kosoko. The Japanese, I really admire their engineering here. It's amazing. I would say Japan is not just another country. Japan is another planet. They really put the high on the highway. If you can see the bridge right now, it's a highway. You're about to get into it. It's about 3 to 4 stories high. If you see the buildings, you see how tall it is. It's not even the tallest, it's like regular height in this area. All the highways, all the expressways in Japan, it's called Kosoko, they are elevated once you are inside the cities, The small cities, they are on the ground for some part. But like this city in Kobe, Osaka, they are elevated and really, really tall. Some parts in Tokyo, they up to 12 stories high, like 50, 60 feet high, 20 meters or so. So right now we're getting to the highway. That's the toll booth. The Japanese, they have a special system called the ETC. It means the electronic toll collection. It's very similar to the Easy Pass, iPass, SunPass if you live in America. But it's different because instead of having a tag on your window, you have a little machine, then you actually put your credit card in there. and use a credit card. It's very interesting, I think, the way. See, look how tall this thing is. So we're going to the highway. And this is the area of Nishinomiyahama. Sadly, it's not a sunny day today. I wish it was, because it looks so much better on videos. But let's go. We're getting to the highway. So the nice thing about the highway, the expressways, see, Route 5, Wangan Route. So the nice thing about the highways in Japan, these freeways are so well maintained. It's very smooth ride. See how tall this thing is? Also, look, there's people there doing some windsurf. Even it's winter and people are doing windsurf. So we're going towards Osaka. And the Kosokus are so nice. The beautiful thing about them, the maintenance, is they really do a really good job maintaining these roads. They're really good. But they don't have shoulder, most of them. Like you can see on the side, they have these little parts like this every 300 or 400 meters, every 1,000 feet or so. There goes a little Porsche. So there's no shoulder. So sometimes if there's an accident, you can get stuck on the highway, you know, or if there's a landslide or something. Is one of the negative things about it. But as long as there's no traffic, there's no accidents, which doesn't happen as often, because people in Japan, normally in average, they're really respectful, and they drive in a very nice way. You know, they really respect the rules. They do a little speeding, of course, like most places, but it's nothing insane. You know, it's acceptable. One of the bad things, if you're driving a truck, normally you can go over the 80 kilometers an hour. It's only 50 miles an hour. But if you pay attention to the road, I don't blame them, because it's not straight. So many curves. If you go 120 kilometers an hour at a big truck, 75 miles an hour, it would be very dangerous, because you can't see much ahead. Maybe half a mile ahead, like a kilometer. Not much there. There's so many curves. So that's one of the reasons the speed limit it's a little bit lower. Something interesting about Japan, because it's a small country and space is very limited and expensive. That's, you see on the right, that's a warehouse. The warehouse probably has about 6 floors, and that ramp over there, trucks go through it. Trucks, actually tractor trailers, they deliver on the 60th floor in Japan. They have to do it because the space is so limited. So even the warehouses are big buildings, and I never seen that before in America. I never went on the 3rd or 4th floor with a truck before. We're doing today, actually. When you arrive to this place you're going today, we are going to go on the 3rd floor. But so most of the warehouses, especially the new ones, you're gonna see a few in this video. I think it's really cool. We just getting into the Osaka prefecture. Oh no, another more, just a little more. Magasaki. That's the last exit before Osaka. Osaka is the, if I'm not mistaken, the 2nd or the 3rd, but I believe it's the 2nd biggest metropolitan area in Japan. Around 9 or 10 million people living in this area. It's only a little smaller than Tokyo and similar to Nagoya. It's a very nice place. I like it. I've been living in Osaka for a little over 3 years. Very nice city. It's a huge city, but it feels like back in the country because it's so quiet. Universal City. So in a few minutes we'll be passing by the Universal Studios Japan. You won't be able to see much, but this highway passes right next to it. So 3 kilometers. So this is Nakajima. I actually live around here. So in the horizon you can see Osaka. That's Umeda area over there where the buildings are. And you go into our first toll booth, second one. ETC, Kadoke. Japanglish is so funny. Card turns into Kado. So let's pass by, just passing through. Okay. In your left side, I don't know if the video can show that, but it's the Universal Studios of Japan. Right there. It's kind of far though. After this, you'll be after this road. There's a river. Today is Sunday, February 3rd, 2019. I've just been working driving trucks in Japan for almost 4 months now. But before I had 8 years experience in America. I've been in 43 states, anywhere from New York City to San Francisco and Seattle and LA to Miami. I've been everywhere basically. And Japan is a big challenge, not just because the opposite side of the road, which is not bad, I believe it's even better, but the roads are narrow, the places are narrow. I was saying before, that's one of the reasons they use, so we can see a little of the Universal Studios over there on the left. So just keep going to this road. So because the roads are narrow, they have to use small trucks. And it's funny because they have such small trucks in Japan. I'm driving the biggest, not the biggest, but the average size 20-ton size. See, already very tall, and there's more bridges on top of the other bridges. These are so amazing. The engineering in Japan is so amazing. So they have trucks that very small, they're like cars. And they have dump trucks, concrete trucks, very little ones. Because some roads are so narrow, cars barely can pass it by. But that's Universal right there. Can't see much because the thing. We're here, and this area is so tall, like probably over 100 feet, maybe 150 feet, 50 meters tall. On our right here, we have the aquarium of Osaka, and we're crossing the red bridge over there. That bridge is huge. Such amazing bridge. Osaka is also known by they call it the city of the 800 bridges. I don't know why. There's so many bridges in the city, it's not even funny. And the amazing thing, if you don't know, Japan is sitting on the top of the Pacific Circle of Fire. And this Pacific Circle of Fire, it's very active area with so many volcanoes and earthquakes. In Japan, there's about every year 14,000 earthquakes. And look at these bridges, like amazingly how they make these things and they don't fall, because of course you don't feel 95% of the earthquakes, but it's just incredible, you know, how can they make these amazing structures and they able to handle so many earthquakes. Also in the last year we had many typhoons, like 3 eyes passed right here. So this is so tall. There's a port over there, one of the ports in Osaka. You'll be able to see a little better now, but so tall. Amazing structures. So ships, they pass under this bridge. That's why it's so high like that. Wangan route. Now you're on route number 4. It's still the Hanshin Kosokodoro, but it changed the number. Japan, they don't use numbers like people used to, like in America. The interstates are all numbers, and also they don't use they use it, but normally it's by the name. They're more, you know. So also they don't use the north and south bounds, east and west. Normally they say Osaka home, Tokyo home, Nagoya home. It means like the direction of Osaka, the direction of Tokyo. Things that they mention differently. They don't use north and south because the country is like sideways. So it's a little different. It's a little complicated in the beginning, especially because the roads, they have names instead of numbers. Now they start using some numbers. They just start adding numbers to it. So and for example, this road, call it Hanshin. It has that name because it uses the first pictogram, kanji. Kanjis are Chinese pictograms, are the Chinese letters, you know. So Japanese, they use about 2,000 of them, and the roads are interesting because they use the names. For example, Hanshin, it uses the first kanji of Kobe and the first kanji of Osaka, because it means the road then connects Kobe to Osaka. We have another huge warehouse over there, which actually is FedEx and DHL in Japan, probably 5 or 6 stories high, and trucks go over there on the 60th floor. On that ramp, you can see the round ramp, like we're gonna do it in a few. So the roads are names, I was saying. The roads are names, and every road I'll go, I try to explain the name and whatever I know about it. I try to give you guys some information. But that's driving in Japan is so smooth, you know. You guys can see, like I'm using a regular iPhone camera, and I believe it doesn't get anybody dizzy. Of course, it vibrates a little because I'm driving a truck, but the road is very steady and we are almost there. We're taking today the Sambo exit and 2 kilometers. Right there you can see the radar. These radars, because there's no shoulder, normally you don't see many cops on the roads in Japan. They all use cameras like that. Camera just passed, and they actually, there's a, as long as you don't go over 20 kilometers over the speed limit, which is about 12 miles over, they don't bother you. You know, the cameras don't catch you. For example, if you right now is 80 kilometers an hour. If you go less than 100, like 99 kilometers an hour, or maybe even 100, the camera is not gonna bother you. They don't catch you, you know. Of course, some areas, if the cops are with the radars, they can still get you. But I think the Japanese, they have some nice, you know, they're nice about that. They let you run a little. They're not really strict. Because some countries, I know, if you go like 1 mile over, 1 kilometer over, they give you a ticket, you know. In Japan, they're really kibishi. In Japanese, kibishi means like really, how can I say that? It's kind of complicated. They're really strict, you know. They're really strict about their laws. But on the highways, they won't bother you much, you know. Of course, on the avenues and small streets, I don't advise anybody to go over 10 or maybe 15 kilometers over the speed limit. Even 10, you can get a ticket. But as long as you're on the Kosoko, you know, they'll take it easy on you if you don't go too fast. Of course, if you go 75 miles, 120 kilometers an hour, if it's 80, yeah, you're definitely getting a ticket. But if you don't go over 100, nobody's gonna bother you. You know, never push her. You know, something interesting like I seen people. I love driving. You know, I'm a professional driver. I've been for so many years. Now I just got back in the business again after 12 years not driving trucks. But people who don't like to drive, they drive too fast. You know, of course, some people love to drive and drive fast, but normally don't. When people really enjoy driving, normally they take it easy. Normally they follow the rules because they value their licenses, you know. We just came out of the highway. This is Suita, and we're going to my first pickup today. The work I do, I work for the biggest logistics company in Japan. My company works with the biggest logistics company. My company is not so big, but we work for Yamato Kuroneko. It means the black cat. And the black cat, Kuroneko, is the biggest logistics company, similar to FedEx or UPS, DHL, but they're #1 in Japan. And they do an amazing job. And most of my work, it's overnight delivery, so I don't drive many days. Normally I drive at night, but Sundays they give me a break. And on Sundays I work only from Uniqlo, which is the biggest clothing brand in Japan. We get from their warehouse, which is on the 3rd floor of the building over there, and we take it to the post office straight to be shipped to the customers and stores and things like that, I think. So that's another warehouse. Also, I think that one is only 4 stories high. So my job is kind of simple. It's post office work, you know. The only bad thing, once you get the load, you cannot stop much. You have to go straight to the place and maybe take a 10-minute break, 20 minutes, half an hour break the most, not longer than that, because everything has to be delivered next day. So we don't really play around on this job. But it's pretty good, very easy. We have to load and unload the truck, but everything goes into carts, special carts. They call it takio. The truck can hold about 16 of them. They're about a square meter wide for maybe 2 meter tall. They can carry up to 500 kilos, or about 1,000 pounds per single takio. So it's not very heavy. And we take to load those 16 takios in the truck, maybe take 10 minutes. If you have everything set up, just put them in and make them safe inside, make them tight inside and stuff like that. It's very easy work, you know, if you're comparing to many other jobs. I've been doing this for a few months. I'm really enjoying it. I'm the only white guy in the company because my other friend, it's Arabic, very nice person. So now we get into the warehouse. This warehouse has 5 floors. We're going to the 3rd floor. So I'm gonna show you guys a truck going over a ramp on the 3rd floor of a warehouse. Something I never seen before. Coming to Japan. Okay, we have to stop and lock the axles because we don't want to do any drift. Now we're going to the 3rd floor. Here we go. This place is normally the also shelters. If there's a tsunami, there's many signs saying you can come here and take over because they're tall and easy to reach and easy to go up the ramps. And we're going up and up. Second floor, let's go to the 3rd. Alright. Very slowly because we have no hurry. It's Sunday and it's January, so job is not really that tough. That's the 3rd floor, people. 3rd floor. Unlock that. Alright. Alright guys, this is the first video. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my channel, Mellow in Japan. Also follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time. Peace.